Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back to another round of candle reviews. I hope your Sunday is off to a fantastic start. I'm not sure whether I'm going to have 2 or 3 candle reviews going live today. I'm aiming for 3, but it depends on how many videos I'm able to film today. We are kicking it off with Nest Himalayan Salt and Rosewater today. If you are interested in seeing more of my home fragrance content, make sure that you hit that little subscribe button right below this video here. That way all of my content will show up in your subscription feed as it goes live. I do quite a bit of home fragrance here on my channel, not just in-depth reviews, but also empties, as well as a weekly home fragrance roundup to give updates on candles that I am burning any given week. So yeah, if you are interested in more home fragrance content, like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button right below this video here. And without further ado, let's get into Himalayan Salt and Rosewater. If you missed my review of the Nest Driftwood and Chamomile fragrance, I will link that one in the description box. I'll also link where you can find Himalayan Salt and Rosewater. Personally, I purchased this one from Ulta. I did receive a 20% discount code from Ulta while Sephora was recently having their spring savings event. I was originally actually going to purchase this from Sephora because you can also find it there. But after getting the discount code from Ulta, I made the switch to purchase from there because their reward system is far superior. Obviously, you can also find this fragrance on the Nest website. So I'll list it in a few places down below if you'd like to pick it up. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one, you guys. I actually first discovered this particular scent when I received some really small, just little sample votives from this wellness collection. And I immensely enjoyed those samples. And so I knew that I wanted to pick up the full size of these at some point. And when I had a 20% off, I figured that would probably be the best time to bite. And no regrets at all, either with this one or the Driftwood and Chamomile, even though they are not in my usual wheelhouse of fragrances that I gravitate towards. These are so unique and interesting to my nose that they were totally worth grabbing, you guys. This particular scent here is kind of a mix between, I would probably say, a floral and a fresh. It is a very unique take on a rose candle, and I think a lot of you guys would really like this one. So let's go ahead and go through the usual review here where I read the fragrance notes to you guys. I'll tell you what my nose picks up the most. Please know that always can vary from person to person. Everybody's nose is just a little bit different. I will also talk about strength and throw, and then if there are any burn issues to address. Okay, so I obviously have this in the just regular classic 1-wick size. It is available in the 3-wick as well as the luxury. And they do have this one in a votive format as well. So maybe if you're unsure about it, try their votives. The classic, just 1-wick size here burns from 50 to 60 hours. It retails for $48. The Nest price point for the candles always go up every single year. They do not miss an opportunity to increase the price of the product, that's for sure. But I'm still buying from Nest because I do generally have a really good experience with a lot of their 1-wick candles. I've mentioned in the past that the 3-wicks cause me a lot of issues. They just tend to get really dirty and kind of sooty and gross towards the halfway point. I'm not sure why that happens. I am quite well versed in how to properly burn a candle at this point. And I've been burning Nest candles for years. And I've tried a bunch of different tips and tricks to get it to not happen with the 3-wicks, but it just happens every single time. So personally, I tend to stick with the 1-wicks. I'm not sure that I would wholeheartedly tell you to go out and purchase this one in the 3-wick, but anyway, let's go ahead and read through these fragrance notes here. Okay. So they say, ease your mind and soothe your spirit with this scented candle featuring notes of rosewater, geranium, salted amber, and white woods. So what are you smelling here? First of all, I do think the very first fragrance notes that I tend to notice are the florals in here. Rose is very much the prominent floral note. I wouldn't even really say rosewater per se. I think it smells like a really beautiful kind of modern take on a rose. I'm not sure if there's a specific rose scent that comes to mind. Maybe kind of similar to maybe like a David Austin Patience rose. Very beautiful, very sophisticated. Again, not old-fashioned. This doesn't smell like that like typical like Victorian or more like grandma rose type of fragrance. It is a little bit kind of brighter, not oppressive at all. Now, geranium. This is kind of an interesting fragrance note that you really don't see a lot. I really happen to have a special place in my heart for geraniums because my Oma used to grow them. She loved geraniums. They had a balcony at their farmhouse, and I remember, you know, every time that spring rolled around, like she made sure that that balcony was like covered in geraniums from like these hanging baskets. Well, they weren't like, you know, like the traditional hanging baskets, but they were like little like long rectangular baskets that hung along that balcony. Is beautiful, just beautiful. She had them, she preferred the red, but she would also grow some of these like really pretty fuchsia ones. So geranium is a fragrance that I'm very familiar with just from growing up with it. And there is a really beautiful geranium note. Geranium is kind of, I would call it almost like an earthy floral in a way almost. It smells just a little bit green as well. And I definitely detect that in here, and I like it. I really like the mix of the rose and the geranium. Although I will say, the prominence really comes more so from the rose than the geranium in this, in terms of the florals, but it's incredibly well done. It's a unique mix, and I like it a lot. The salted amber. Okay, I definitely pick up a nice dose of amber in this one for sure. I don't know that I would necessarily call it like a salted amber. Also, maybe I don't. Maybe I've never smelled salted amber, but I didn't know that you could salt amber. But I do smell amber in here. Amber brings a lot of warmth to this particular fragrance. It adds a little bit of perfuminess to it as well. And that white woods note, I don't know. I'm not sure how to explain that because there's nothing in here that comes across as woody per se. There is a kind of soft, maybe muskiness more so than a woodiness that my nose detects here. But this is really pretty, you guys. It is mostly the floral, but that amber adds, again, that kind of perfumey warmth to the fragrance as well. So it's an interesting combination of floral with warmth. I love this scent. I don't know that I have a favorite between this and the driftwood and chamomile. They're different from each other for sure, but they're both really unique and interesting, and they're the types of fragrances that I imagine, you know, smelling when walking into an expensive, overpriced spa type setting. I just find these fragrances to be so enjoyable, and they just make me want to go take a nap, honestly, in the best possible way. You know, it's not like they make me tired or like inspire, you know, but it's just, it's the coziness, it's the relaxation, it's the warmth from this one, from the amber. It just really, I don't know, I want to go either take a really relaxing nap when I'm smelling this one, or like just get a really like nice, relaxing Swedish massage. Oh, I haven't had a massage in a really long time. But you guys, this is a great scent. Listen, if you at all are interested in florals and you're looking for an interesting take on a floral, especially if you like rose scents, give this one a try. I honestly cannot recommend it enough. And this is coming from someone for whom florals are not like the go-to favorite. This fragrance is worth checking out, 100%. Strength and throw. Okay, she's been a solid performer. I will say the strength is probably somewhere between like a 6 and a 7. I think this one does do a little better when I've had it in a candle sleeve. It certainly helps to amplify the fragrance just a little bit. That being said, I don't think this is the type of fragrance where it should be overly strong or, you know, aggressive in its presentation. I think it's kind of perfect where it's at right now. I like this one to be more in the background than just something that when someone walks into my house, they immediately think, oh, do you have roses? Like, it's subtle and it's pretty and it's soft and kind of delicate and relaxing. Man, it's a good one. Obviously, I have a thing for this scent. I will say though, don't trim your wicks too aggressively with these Nest One wicks. Sometimes they have trouble pulling out completely. And this is even if you give the first burn like 4 or 5 hours, sometimes they just have this tendency to tunnel a little bit. The best thing you can do is leave the wicks as long as possible until that wax kind of scoots down the side of the jar and incorporates into the overall wax pool. So what I've been doing with these, instead of actually trimming the wicks, I just take a little piece of paper towel and I literally will wipe the wick to get rid of the little carbon residue at the top, those little carbon balls or mushroom tops that form. So that little paper towel takes care of those. And the paper towel wipes away a little bit of that residual, you know, like residue that's on the wick that can fall back into the wax and then discolor it, leading it to smell kind of funky after a while. So leave the wicks slightly longer. The wax does eventually work its way down. You can, well, here, let's do an overhead shot so that you guys can see this in action. You can kind of see how right over here, there is just a little touch of wax that is higher than, you know, what the wax pool was the last time that I extinguished the candle. And what's gonna happen, since I left the wick nice and long, if I put the candle sleeve over this, I will link a candle sleeve down in the description box as well if you don't know what I'm talking about. But once I put that candle sleeve on there and it holds that heat in a little bit better next to the candle here, this is gonna melt and it's gonna incorporate into the wax pool, and then I will have a complete wax pool. So yeah. And then it might tunnel again the subsequent burn, but again, just leave the wicks a little bit longer. I have not had any issues with leaving the wicks longer. So anyway, let's go ahead and set you guys back down here so that we can finish up. But that's really the only burn issue that I've had with this one. You can see there's like no discoloration in the wax. There's no sooting on the side of the jar. I leave these lit for about 3.5, 4 hours. I try not to go too far beyond that. The first burn, I do let them go a little bit longer just to get that initial pool. But for the most part, between 3.5, 4 hours is fine. The scents do linger just a little bit after, which I think is nice. But overall, 2 thumbs up here. I really enjoy this one. If you've tried this particular scent, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Check out the description box on where to purchase this one. Let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next review coming up a little bit later on today on my channel. Thanks a lot, you guys. Toodaloo.